Guys? That girl you're trying to save is Nora friggin' Dark.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Paige, here once again with another video on Legends of Tomorrow Season 4. So every season of Legends of Tomorrow we get some members leaving and some new members joining. And that looks like it is going to be the exact same in Season 4 of Legends. We of course know that Wally or Kid Flash is leaving the Wave Rider. With Amaya gone as well, there will need to be some replacements. Sure, we know that Maisie Richardson Sellers, who plays Amaya, will be back this season, but in another role. She's playing another character. It'll be interesting to find out what that is, all about. But thanks to that#show.com, we have some information on two new characters joining the show in Season 4. A female character and a male character. Now, I will leave the link to that #show.com's article on it, so go check that out if you want. Now, we will firstly go over the male character, as the female character actually has an audition tape attached to it to also go over. But anyway, this male character is that of Hank Heywood. That's right, Nate Heywood, or Citizen Steele's father. And the description for the character goes as follows. He is somewhere in his 60s, and while he is loved by many, his son Nate is not one of them. Their relationship is a very mixed one, as Hank is always on his son's back for not doing more with his life. Having served in the military, Hank is now working for the Department of Defense. Carrying a Woody Harrelson-y charm, Hank takes traditional values very seriously, such as patriotism and sacrifice. But he isn't being a dick about his beliefs, and while Nate may have had his list of failures in life, Hank loves his son as much as a father possibly could. Now, Hank will be a recurring character for the season, so he'll be showing up every now and then, sort of like Agent Sharp or Gary, I guess, in Season 3 of Legends. So it sounds like Hank is going to be your typical, judgmental dad, if that makes sense. So he tries to be mates with all of your mates, but still has a higher expectation on his son. It will be interesting to see how that relationship goes this season and see the contrast between the way that Nate acted around his grandfather in Season 2 and then his father in Season 4. The next character is the most interesting one, as she will be a series regular. So to make it simple, imagine like Zari and her introduction and then her role in Season 3. Imagine that, but with this character. In this character, at the moment at least, is going by the name of Ali, and this is her description. She is somewhere in her 20s as a young woman who is searching deeply for her mission in life. Teased as a mega intelligent and sharp as heck person, Ali tends to sometimes be a little aloof and being too distracted by her own imaginations as well as romantic impulses. She loves YA or young adult literature, as well as fantasy novels, hence her hunger and curiosity for adventures. Despite her disappointment with the state of the world, Ali continues to keep an optimistic head as much as possible with any situation that she faces. Ali also has a deep love for animals, as she believes each animal has a purpose to fulfill on our planet. But before we jump into this Ali character anymore, there is actually an audition tape for this character online from an actress known as Alexandra Ford. Now, I won't be showing the audition in this video as it's not my property, but I will leave it linked in the description down below for those that do want to go check it out, and I would recommend that you, go check it out. So the audition involves two scenes, one with Gary from the Time Bureau, and it seems to possibly be the first time we run into this character, so it's like the introductory scene, which we sometimes get a lot with these auditions, like it's meant to be like how they would, first interact with us. And then the second scene is a bit more of an emotional one, and it seems to be her, her introduction to the legends and stuff like that. But that first scene sees this character of Ali delivering food, by the sounds of it, to our favourite Time Bureau agent in the form of Gary, who is in the actual Time Bureau by the sounds of it, like the location. She reveals that she has read a lot of psychic stuff, which relates back to her description where it says that she loves like young adult and fantasy novels, with her brain being a sponge and just soaks up and sucks up information. Ali actually sees a minotaur, and Gary reveals that they are actually sort of studying Greek mythology, which is a good cover for what they could actually be going with or doing in Season 4. Ali and Gary, that sort of they flow pretty well. Ali and Gary end up organising a dinner date, and the scene ends with Ali being curious and wanting Gary to go deeper and explain more as to what goes on at Gary's workplace. And the second scene is the emotional one for Ali, as she recollects something that has recently happened where her memory is, all frazzled. She says that she remembers following a group, most likely the Legends, through a field, and then everything just went black, and she just knew something was up. Something was terribly wrong. Her muscles were aching, and her bones were on fire, and then her hands just began to swell up. But when she looked down at her hands, they weren't hands anymore, they were now claws. And then she brings up an interaction with a werewolf at the bureau where we learn it attacked her. So she was fascinated by this werewolf and would go down and like just admire the werewolf from a distance, I would say. And then one night, you know, there was a spare sandwich. She took the spare sandwich down, but unfortunately got a bit too close to the cage and was actually scratched by him. She actually had like misconceived ideas as to what would happen if she was infected or turned by the werewolf, that it would be a good thing, but obviously it wasn't a good thing. It's a pretty bad thing. But one decent thing that comes from all of this is that she is offered a place on the Wave Rider to be a part of the Legends. I guess we will just have to wait and see if that is a good idea. I'm guessing we will get a werewolf moment on board the Wave Rider that will just be crazy. So whether it's a full moon or just something triggers Allie and she just goes full on werewolf, whatever it is, it should be really entertaining to watch. But I guess the big question is whether this character is from the comics or not. Because they bring in the characters from the comics, whether they're really obscure from the comics or maybe they bring the exact same character in but they change their name around a bit just to suit what's going on, whether it's the current climate or something like that. So will Allie end up being someone, you know, more familiar to comic readers, or just some random? Well, it's a possibility that she could be someone from the comics, but I don't think it would really matter too much if this was an original character for the show. I would be fine with that personally. However, what I think would be cool to do in connection to Allie and this story is have that werewolf that was in the Time Bureau be connected to the comics. Now we know season 4 of Legends will include myths, legends, and fairy tales. In that audition scene, we know Gary had a goddamn minotaur around him. So what would be interesting and pretty cool is if the werewolf that scratched Allie was the wolf from all the fairy tales that we know, such as the Three Little Pigs and Little Red Riding Hood, to name a couple. They would be able to knock out a few stories and have some pretty cool and funny scenes while also segueing into Allie's story for the season. They could use Bigby Wolf, who is in the Fable comics, which is under the Vertigo label, but that is a part of like the whole DC Comics. But we have seen various characters move from Vertigo to DC, especially with the magical and supernatural side of things. There are a few other options, but for a character that would only be there for like one or a few episodes, why not use Bigby Wolf and just have some fun? And just quickly on my thoughts on the actress, which is Alexandra Ford in that audition tape, I thought she did a pretty damn good job, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's the actress that actually gets casted. I mean, Tala Arsh, I think that's how you pronounce it, who played Zari, you know, fairly unknown before she got picked up, and Alexandra Ford, I'm not too sure with her career beforehand, but I think she would fit really, really well on the Wave Rider. I think she would be good to look at on screen with all of our characters there. I think she'd be a perfect fit, and yeah, she's got my thumbs up and seal of approval. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of her and whether you would like to see her on the Wave Rider as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoy like the semi-regular Legends videos. Whenever some information comes out about Legends, I try to, you know, get a video out on it because it is, you know, one of the more popular shows on my channel. I'm basically the guy that does all the Legends videos. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions. What do you think of the scenes that we went over that Alexandra performed, I guess, in that audition tape? What do you think about the descriptions of both the Ali character and the Heywood character? Just leave all of your opinions in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.